Well, hello and good evening, boils and ghouls.
And happy All Hallows Eve.
It's us, your distant aunt and uncle.
Oh, you didn't know you had a distant aunt and uncle?
Well, it makes sense that your parents didn't tell you about us.
Because we all had a falling out.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I'm your Uncle Van.
And I'm your Aunt Tilda.
And we're so excited that you've joined us for this, our favorite holiday.
Tonight will be fun for the whole family.
Yep, nothing too scary tonight. We've left the real horrors for the summer family reunion.
Matching t-shirts.
But we want you to interact with us. The chat will be open the whole time because I'll be telling your fortunes with the Marvel cards.
And I'll be giving life advice, so have your questions ready.
And if you're enjoying yourself and you don't want to see your sweet aunt and uncle have to foreclose on our modest gothic hovel, drop us a tip right here at streamlabs.com/DennisCallow/tip.
We'd appreciate it more than you know.
So sit back, relax, eat the Halloween candy you're supposed to be handing out to little children that you don't know, and get ready for a night of spooky stories, mysterious fortunes, and more.
First up, a story that's haunted most of us since we were small pups. The girl with the green ribbon.
And now, presenting the girl with the green ribbon around her neck.
From In a Dark, Dark Room and Other Scary Stories, an I Can Read book by Alvin Schwartz. Once there was a girl named Jenny. She was like all the other girls, except for one thing. She always wore a green ribbon around her neck. There was a boy named Alfred in her class. Alfred liked Jenny, and Jenny liked Alfred. One day he asked her, "Why do you wear that ribbon all the time?" "I cannot tell you," said Jenny. But Alfred kept asking, "Why do you wear it?" And Jenny would say, "It is not important." Jenny and Alfred grew up and fell in love. One day they got married. After their wedding, Alfred said, "Now that we are married, you must tell me about the green ribbon." "You still must wait," said Jenny. "I will tell you when the right time comes." Years passed. Alfred and Jenny grew old. One day, Jenny became very sick. The doctor told her she was dying. Jenny called Alfred to her side. "Alfred," she said, "now I can tell you about the green ribbon. Untie it, and you will see why I could not tell you before." Slowly and carefully, Alfred untied the ribbon, and Jenny's head fell off. And now, the reading of the Marvel cards.
Hello, folks, and hello, everyone in the chat. I see it's popping off, as the kids say. Now, for this, there is a little bit of a delay between you and me. So if you want your fortune read, well, it's not really a fortune. It's the fortune of the Marvel cards, because I don't believe in reading tarot cards because that shit is cursed. So, if you do want your cards read, please let me know in the chat now, and I will gladly oblige. The rules are this. They do work just like tarot cards, except they're Marvel cards from the 90s, and each one stands for something very special. So please, let me know if you would like your cards read, and I will read them to you now. Don't be shy, because we don't have all night. Uncle Van, read my Marvel cards, says Ingrid Petrie. Well, Ingrid Petrie, I will read your cards. Gotta shuffle them first, so let me just sort of... Hold on a sec, guys. I've only done this once before. It's just... Okay. All right, Ingrid, are you ready to have your fortune read? Okay, well, the first card we've got here is the Rookies card. Okay, well, we're just gonna forget we even saw that one, Ingrid, because it's not good. So let's just do this all over again. Ready? Okay, here we go. Yes, okay, here we go. The Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. That's actually a very good card. If you're familiar with the Death card in tarot, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants actually is a good thing. It means change is coming to your life. And you're probably gonna make a lot of money soon. So, can I have your phone number? Now, the second card, I forgot to mention there's only 3 cards that I get to pick. Okay? So you get 2 more. The X-Men. Yes, this is a very good sign, because that means that you're going to meet a bunch of people and they're going to give you some weirdo powers and you're going to end up saving the planet, Ingrid. That's pretty great. So you're going to be rich and a superhero. You're just breaking the walls. All of them. At once. Together. Okay, and our third and final card is... Oh dear. It's Captain America versus the Red Skull. I I'd say it's a good thing, but because you got the X-Men card, I'd say it's a bad thing. So we're just going to leave it at the X-Men and that you're going to be rich and save the world. Who else would like to have their cards read? We'll do one more. Let's see. Someone said something here and I need to... Ooh, this
Another reading of the Marvel cards.
Okay. Let's see. Who else wants their card read? Please let me know in the chat if you'd like your card read. Rob R., me next. Okay, here we go, Rob. Are you ready for this? This is going to be real fun. Okay, Rob, let's see. Oh, Rob, you got Apocalypse. Oh, yes, Apocalypse. Well, you know, I have to say that Apocalypse is a pretty good sign for a guy. If you're a woman or non-binary or whatever you choose to identify as, might not have been as good. But for a dude, Apocalypse is great because men just love chaos. And the Apocalypse card means that you are going to be very strong for the rest of your life. Okay, now your next card is, this is a very good one. The giant-sized X-Men. That means that you're going to get a new pair of pants. Okay, and our next one is, this is very good, Rob R. Mephisto. Now, a lot of people think that he's a bad seed, but no, Rob R. Mephisto is actually pretty great. He is the god of hair, so that means that you're going to have luscious hair for the rest of your life. I would suggest growing it out, though, because it may only last 2 years. Okay, Tilda, do we have time for one more, honey?
One more reading of the Marvel cards.
It sounds like she's in the room with me. Okay, so we had one more person, and that was, we have so many. Big D wants one. Poxy Plays wants one. Christy Lake wants one. Tilda, will you help me decide who should we do? I'm going to leave it up to you, Tilda. Oh, Ghost of Tilda. Who is it? Poxy Plays, Big D, or Christy?
Do one that applies to all three.
Oh my God, all three are gonna get one. Okay, all three. This is for all three. Now, this is very confusing because these cards are very gendered. It's a very old school situation, so it's not really up on the time, so I gotta sort of combine all of everything at once. Okay, oh God. All right, well, we have famous battles. Okay, well, famous battles, it kind of works. It'll work for the boy, Big D. Is that Big D? Are you a boy or a girl? Or a non-binary? Just drop it in the chat, let me know. Christy, I know you're a girl, and Poxy, I know that you identify as female as well. So, yeah, that one's not good. Let's go to another one. Let's please just go to another card, because that one, I don't think you want to hear what that one is. The Hellfire Club. Now, this is pretty great. That means you're going to be able to have your dancing shoes on forever. Okay, let's go to the second one. The second one is, oh dear. Okay. Well, Big D, that also applies to you. The Hellfire Club, you're going to have your dancing shoes on for a very, very long time. And you're going to be able to do that sweet, I don't know what you kids do these days, but you'll be able to do that for as long as you live. All right, let's go to the Black Cat. The Black Cat. The Black Cat means that you are going to be very wealthy for 15 minutes. And you're going to blow it all in 10. Okay, and now our last card. Our last card for the evening before we move on to spooky stories from Tilda is... Oh, no, I don't like any of these choices. Yes. Blob. The Blob. Now, you may think that that means something bad. But no, it doesn't, my friends. Big D, Poxy, and Christy, you're in for a treat. Blob means you're going to be smothered in love for the rest of your life by all of those around you. Except for pets. Never get pets because they'll eventually kill you. And now, the reading of Spooky Stories to Tell in the Dark.
By Alfred Alvin Schwartz. The Haunted House. One time, a preacher went to see if he could put a haunt to rest at a house in his settlement. The house had been haunted for about 10 years. Several people had tried to stay there all night, but they always would get scared out by the haunt. So this preacher took his Bible and went to the house, went on in, built himself a good fire and a little lamp, sat there reading the Bible. Then just before midnight, he heard something start up in the cellar, walking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then it sounded like somebody was trying to scream and got choked off. Then there was a lot of thrashing about and struggling, and finally, everything got quiet. The old preacher took up his Bible again, but before he could start reading, he heard footsteps coming up the cellar stairs. He sat watching the door to the cellar, and the footsteps kept coming closer and closer. He saw the doorknob turn, and when the door began to open, he jumped up and hollered, "What do you want?" The door shut back easy-like, and there wasn't a sound. The preacher was trembling a little, but he finally opened the Bible and read a while. Then he got up and laid the book on a chair and went to mending the fire. Then the haunt started walking again, and step, 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 up the cellar stairs. The old preacher sat watching the door, saw the doorknob turn and the door open. It looked like a young woman. He backed up and said, "Who are you? What do you want?" The haunt sort of swayed like she didn't know what to do. Then she faded out. The old preacher waited, and when he didn't hear any more noises, he went over and shut the door. He was sweating and trembling all over, but he was a brave man, and he thought he'd be able to see it through. So he turned his chair to where he could watch, and he sat down and waited. It wasn't long before he heard the haunt start up again, slowly. Step, 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 step. Closer and closer. Step, step. And it was right at the door. The preacher stood up and held his Bible aloft before him. Then the knob slowly turned, and the door opened wide. This time the preacher spoke quiet-like. He said, "In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, who are you and what do you want?" The haunt came right across the room, straight to him, and grasped hold of his coat. It was a young woman, about 20 years old. Her hair was torn and tangled, and the flesh was dropping off her face so he could see the bones and part of her teeth. She had no eyeballs, but there was a sort of blue light way back in her eye sockets, and she had no nose to her face. Then she started talking. It sounded like her voice was coming and going with the wind blowing it. She told how her lover had killed her for her money and buried her in the cellar. She asked if the preacher would dig up her bones and bury her properly so she could rest. Thank you very much. Then she told him to take the end joint of the little finger from her left hand and to lay it in the collection plate at the next church meeting, and he'd find out who had murdered her. And she said, quote, "If you come back here once more after that, you'll hear my voice at midnight, and I'll tell you where my money is hid, and you can give it to the church." The haunt sobbed like she was tired, and she sunk down toward the floor and was gone. The preacher found her bones and buried them in the graveyard. The next Sunday, the preacher put the finger bone in the collection plate, and when a certain man happened to touch it, it stuck to his hand. The men jumped up and rubbed and scraped and tore at that bone, trying to get it off. Then he went to screaming like he was going crazy. Well, he confessed to the murder, and they took him on to jail. After the man was hung, the preacher went back to that house one midnight, and the haunt's voice told him to dig under the heath rock. He did, and he found a big sack of money, and where that haunt had held on to his coat, the print of those bony fingers was burned right into the cloth. It never did come out. And now, the story of the Wraiths of Wilton Castle.
Looming above the landscape of southeastern Ireland, only fire-scarred walls remain of once stately Wilton Castle. Until it was ravaged by flames in the early 1920s, this rambling structure was home to generations of the Alcock family. Prominent in the region since the early 17th century, if local legends are to be believed, a fair number of ghosts are now harbored within the castle walls. One story recounts strange lights that are sometimes seen in the remnants of a castle tower where an old woman, a one-time actress, died in a fire. Excuse me, I lost my place. The ghost must have taken it. Ah, there I am. Another tale has it that every year on the anniversary of his death, the shade of Harry Alcock, who died in 1840, is seen driving slowly away from the castle in a ghostly carriage. I bet his gas is less money than we're paying now, because he's a ghost. Crowds once gathered in anticipation of the event, and a local shoemaker claimed to have spoken with the phantom. The strangest tale, however, is that of neighbor Archibald Jacob, who served as a magistrate and captained a local militia company at the time of the rebellion against Britain in 1798. Jacob flogged and tortured many people in the parish while returning home from a ball at Wilton Castle one evening in 1836. He was killed by a fall from a horse. For years afterward, his ghost was said to haunt both the scene of his death and the castle. On one occasion, a Catholic priest was summoned to the castle to conduct an exorcism. When he made the sign of the cross, the ghost of Archibald Jacob allegedly appeared in the fireplace, then disappeared in a cloud of smoke. And now we will have a moment of advice with Aunt Tilda.
I'm here to give you advice. I've been alive for a while, and I have many thoughts about many things. If you need advice, please ask your question in the chat. You can remain anonymous except your name is attached, so that might be tough. When you have a question, I will intuit it, and I will answer this telephone, and I will give your answer through the telephone. Now, that may seem needlessly complicated, but believe me, it is not. Van, darling.
Yes, honey.
Do you want to check if there are any questions or anyone in the chat who needs advice?
All right. Anyone in the chat? Do you need advice? Give it to us now. What would you like? Okay. Aunt Tilda, this is from Barbara F.
Oh, good. I'll answer the phone.
Okay, ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring.
Tilda, you're welcome.
Barbara F asks, Aunt Tilda, what would you do if you were ghosted?
Oh, Barbara. Thank you for asking. It happened once to me. When I was but a young lass of 17 years old, I was ghosted by a buck, by a ne'er-do-well named Stephen. I was left behind. He had decided we were going to go on a date, and then he did not show up. I found out later he was going with a girl named Nikki. So what did I do? I took a gun, and I used it to pop all 4 of his tires in his Mercedes. That was on me for dating someone who had a Mercedes. Anyway, I would decide to find some way to abscond with or destroy his personal property. Thank you. The end.
All right, now from Big D. Big D asks, Aunt Tilda. Oh,
hello,
yes.
Aunt Tilda. You're welcome.
Yes. Big D asks, Aunt Tilda, will I ever find a man?
Oh, Big D. Yes, you will find a man. You will find so many men. You will be frankly distraught with how many men you are surrounded with. The thing you need to focus on instead is the quality of the man you want. Do you want a man who is kind? Do you want a man who is strong? Or do you want a man who dances nude in the night when the ravens call and celebrates the solstice every fortnight the way he is supposed to?
Well, Tilda, it looks like you found me.
Yes, Van, my darling, I love you very much. Is there another advice?
Oh, the chat is popping off, Tilda.
Wonderful.
Tilda, my dear, ring, ring, ring.
Oh. Tilda, you're welcome.
We have one from Misty Gems. Misty Gems says, Aunt Tilda, how do you deal with unpleasant people?
That is simple, Misty. I will help you. First of all, I love that your name is a name and also a descriptor. If you are surrounded by unpleasant people, you must do one of 3 things. First, stop answering any of their calls, or texts, or raven notes, or letters, or posts, or notes in a bottle. Number 2, if you must be around them, say they are your family or co-workers. Simply pretend that you have suddenly been to a concert and lost your hearing. Perhaps one of those newer concerts people are going to, like BTS, or the one from the people who go, somebody once told me that I'm seeing on the internet.
I believe that's Smash Face.
A Smash Face concert. You can't hear anything. You've been to the... I'm sorry, I can't hear anything. I've been to the Smash Face concert. Or, the third thing to do if somebody is unpleasant is you find a significant amount of newspaper and clay, and you shove it down the chimney of their dwelling. Much clay and much newspaper. And when the next time is that they start their fire, it will smoke them out. They won't be able to be in their own home. At all. They'll have to go to a different home, and probably in a different city, considering home prices these days, and you'll never have to deal with them again. Thank you.
Oh, Tilda, it looks like we got a birthday in the chat.
Oh.
Aubrey, happy birthday. Ring, ring, ring. Do we want to wish her a happy birthday?
Tilda, you're welcome. Happy birthday, Aubrey, and I will make some birthday wishes for you in the new year. I wish for you that you never have to worry about dirty feet as you walk about your home. Because you know how sometimes you are walking barefoot about your dwelling and you look and your feet have turned gray, some disgusting color of gray, and you don't know where that came from because you are very good at keeping a home. I wish nothing but clean feet for you, Aubrey. I also wish for you that you never have to worry about someone stealing your Amazon packages. Perhaps some sort of magical wish is put upon your Amazon packages so that no one ever takes them again. Because sometimes you need those things. Sometimes you need, the shampoo and the little inflatable little bags of air that they put in there. I'd never ordered those. They just include them sometimes. Gift with purchase, I suppose. And I also wish for you that you find happiness, blah, blah, blah. But if anybody ever comes to your home uninvited, remember this. You put 2 fingers out, you say to them, never again. You pop them across the forehead. I promise you they won't show up to your home anymore. No one wants to deal with that. Happy birthday.
All right, Aunt Tilda, how you feeling? You feeling ready for a couple more from the chat?
Absolutely.
Ring, ring, ring. This one's from Nika.
Aunt Tilda, you're welcome.
Nika asks, how do I leave my husband for another woman? Let's answer another one. Okay, let's see. This one's probably from Poxy, but I have to... Nope, we got one from Steph. Let's see. Steph, hold on. Aunt Tilda. Ring, ring, ring. I apologize.
Tilda, you're welcome.
Yes, there we are. Okay, Aunt Tilda, how do I deal with my mother coming into town this weekend?
Leave town.
All right, we've got one from Poxy Place. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, Poxy Place.
Tilda, you're welcome.
Aunt Tilda, how does one go about finding a suitor? I fear I may not find one in time for the next full moon. What does one do?
Step 1. Check your local announcement board if there is a dance at the barn. Step 2. Walk through the woods on your way to the barn. Something exciting is sure to happen there. Step 3. When you get to the barn, put on your dancing shoes. Tie them about the ankle. Make sure not to show your ankle. You are not a slut. Step 4. Once your dancing shoes are upon you, then stand, approach a suitor that you find physically admirable, and ask that person to dance. If they say no, slap them across the face. You are too wonderful to be ignored. Leave the barn. Go home. If your suitor does not want you, what is the point? stay in, watch some type of Real Housewife of Nantucket, or whatever people are putting on the television these days, and enjoy their own company. Because I love my own company. Van entered my life when I thought I'd be alone forever, and frankly, I was looking forward to the prospect. But I like my own company and his just fine. The great thing about your own company, you know exactly what to expect from them. And they never disappoint.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much, and please stay tuned for more spooky stories with, well, me. That's me, Uncle Van. Me.
And now your Uncle Van reads A Tale of Love and Madness.
Dedicated to my only love, Tilda.
I love you too.
I love you too, honey.
I love you too.
I love you more.
I love you
I love you so much.
I love you so much.
I love you even more than that.
A Tale of Love and Madness.
Ornate gate pillars frame the ivied ruins of Baldoon Castle, which stands on a desolate stretch of the Scottish lowlands some 80 miles south of Glasgow. In the mid-17th century, Baldoon was the setting for a tragic tale that was later memorialized by Sir Walter Scott in his novel, The Bride of Lammermoor. Lammermoor. The true story involved the family of Sir James Dalrymple. I really should have practiced these names. Dalrymple, an eminent jurist and salesman. His eldest daughter was the beautiful Janet Dalrymple, who before she came of age secretly pledged her troth to a poor young nobleman, Lord Rutherford. Janet's parents disapproved of the match. Particularly antagonistic was her mother, figures. A haughty woman who dictates even her husband dared not cross. That sentence didn't really make sense to me, but okay. Helpless before her mother's steely will, Janet broke faith with her true love and agreed to marry the man her parents chose for her, Rutherford's nephew, David Dunbar, the heir of Baldoon. With sad resignation, Janet married Dunbar on August 24th, 1669. Insert the joke here, folks. 69. Anyway, there are several versions of what happened on Janet's wedding night, but the best known is this. There was a great bridal feast and ball at Baldoon. The ball at Baldoon. I like the sound of that. During which the bride and groom retired, as was the custom at the time. Soon thereafter, wedding guests heard shrieks coming from the nuptial chamber. Breaking down its door, they found Dunbar lying across the threshold, blood streaming from stab wounds. His bride, her gown stained with his blood, was huddled in a corner, muttering to herself, obviously quite mad. Or maybe she was just having a moment, it's a wedding. Ours was kind of bloody too. The only coherent words she was heard to say were, "Tack up your bonny bridegroom." Dunbar survived, but Janet died within a month. It is said that her gore-dappled ghost still haunts Baldoon, perhaps in expiation, perhaps searching for her lost love. And now, we present the girl who stood on her grave.
Some boys and girls were at a party one night. There was a graveyard down the street, and they were talking about how scary it was. So scary. "Don't ever stand on a grave after dark," one of the boys said. "The person inside will grab you. He'll pull you under." "That's not true," said one of the girls. "It's just a superstition." "I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious," she said. "I'll give you $1 if you stand on a grave," said the boy. "A grave doesn't scare me," said the girl. "I'll do it right now." The boy handed her his knife. "Stick this knife in one of the graves," he said. "Then we'll know you were there." The graveyard was filled with shadows and was as quiet as death. "There's nothing to be scared of," the girl told herself, but she was scared anyway. She picked out a grave and stood on it. Then quickly she bent over and plunged the knife into the soil, and she started to leave. But she couldn't get away. Something was holding her back. She tried a second time to leave, but she could not move. She was filled with terror. "Something has got me," she screamed, and she fell to the ground. When she didn't come back, the others went to look for her. They found her body sprawled across the grave. Without realizing it, she had plunged the knife through her skirt and pinned it to the ground. It was only the knife that held her. She had died of fright.
Well, folks, once again, we're gonna do
The reading of the Marvel cards.
So, if you didn't get your cards read the first time, let us know now, and I'm gonna do it again. This is it, folks. This is the last time for a year, okay? Because Uncle Van's gotta sleep. Anyone in the chat? Anyone? Anyone? Who'd like their cards read? Just let me know. Please, let me know. Now. Now. Well, I can tell you this. The best thing about these cards is that, oh, look, it's Tanya wants one. Okay, so we've got 5 people. Whoa, that's a lot of you. Okay, all right. Oh, didn't realize it was so popular, this one. All right, well, we'll start with Tanya. Oh, and Zaida didn't get a reading, and we got to give Zaida a reading. Because just because her name begins with the last letter of the alphabet doesn't mean she should be last. Oh, look, it's Tanya. Let's read your card. Z. Oh, you got Tales of Suspense. Tanya, this is a very good card, and let me tell you why. Tales of Suspense means that you are going to find a puppy. But you'll be allergic to that puppy, and you'll have to return the puppy. But the puppy will then find a home at a very big mansion, and you'll be invited to that mansion. And then inside of that mansion, you're going to find a room, and in that room is a treasure map. That treasure map leads to the Amazon. You're going to get on a plane and go to the Amazon, and you're going to find another map. That map's going to bring you to jolly old London, and you're going to find a map in a weird library there. And then once you find that map, you're going to go back to the United States, back to the mansion, find the puppy, and get the puppy back. Zaida, let's read your card now, because that was a pretty long one. Zaida, let's read your cards. And for Zaida, our very special Zaida, she's going to get 3 cards. You don't really have to sing it. I'm just sort of like going with the flow here, feeling the cards out, you know. Zaida. This is a very special card. It's the Silver Surfer hologram card. I don't know if I can tell you what this means. It may actually blow your mind. The Silver Surfer card means that you are going to learn how to surf. All right, your next card. The New Mutants. They're brand new. The movie was terrible, but this is a good card. Do you know why, Zaida? Because this means renewal. Renewal of life. Renewal of spirit. Renewal of everything. Your whole life's going to be different. This is a good card. I'll put it down there. Renewal. New Mutants. Good. Oh, God. Okay, well, we're going to skip that last one and see who else wants their card read. Okay, so let's see. Let me go back up here. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-do. Doody-doody, la-di-da-di, hotty-hotty, foo. Okay, we've got Lauren, we've got Dave, we got Aubrey, we got Katernia. We got Nika, we got Nicholas, we got Diana, we got Shan. We got Nika again. You're making it real tough for me, guys. I don't know if I could do all 3 of you, or 4 or 5. I don't. How many is that, Tilda?
11.
Well, let's just mix all of you together and figure it out, because we only got 10 more minutes in this stream, because Aunt Tilda and Uncle Van got to go to bed. All right, so this is for you, Lauren, Dave, Aubrey, Catriona. I'm glad I went to that school that taught me how to say people's names. Nika and Nicholas and Diana and Shan and Madeline. Oh my God, the list is just growing. Okay, here we go. And the smallest love of all was mine when I just made a present of... Yes! For all of you, we have X-Men versus Avengers. That is good because that is actually a group reading. For all of you who've asked for your cards to be read, the X-Men versus the Avengers means that you are going to beat all the pieces of shit that have tried to make fun of you in the past. And when I say beat them, I mean you're going to beat them in life. You're going to make them so ashamed of who they are and how they treated you, they can all go fetch. All right, next one. Let's see. We've got Hasn't, hey, their lonely girl, where she knows that. Yes! One of the best cards you can get, the High Evolutionary. It just means you're going to smoke a bunch of weed and get really high. Okay, and if you're sober, I don't know what to tell you. The CBD is an option. Okay, also microdosing THC. Okay, one more card. One more card for the lot of you. Ah, Thanos. Thanos, the holder of the glove that controls the universe. This means that you will definitely get that new kitchen set that you wanted for Christmas this year. The power of Thanos reigns. And that is the reading of the Marvel cards. Well, boils and ghouls, it's time to say goodnight. And my lighting is in the shot, so please excuse me for 1 second.
How is everyone doing?
Now, we're going to do one last thing for you guys. And that would be, we're going to give couples advice. Because we're a couple, and we want to advise.
If you are in a couple, a thruple, a fourple, or a fiftle,
Or sextal, or septal, or autumnal.
And you need advice, couples advice, we are here. We love to give advice. We've been together for so very long.
So very long.
We would love to help you.
We would love to help you. Not only would we love to help you, but we would love to, possibly save your marriage.
Yes. So if you have any questions about love, or cohabitation, or friendship, or romance, let us know. We'll wait.
What is this that someone's asking about a tramp stamp on me? I've never even heard of this. What is a tramp stamp? Can someone let me know what a tramp stamp is?
I believe a tramp stamp is a lower back tattoo. Given the name tramp stamp because it is pejoratively used against women who have a lower back tattoo, insinuating that they are perhaps sexually adventurous.
Don't have one of those.
Madeline has a question.
Madeline.
How can I get my husband to stop sending me Dune memes?
Oh, okay. Well, that's impossible because he's probably a nerd.
It's true. Van once had a brother who would not stop sending Dune memes, but then we simply had him taken out.
Yes. We wouldn't recommend that, though.
No.
No, not on live stream.
No, never.
We'd probably get demonetized.
You should handle it with your words.
Or send him memes back.
That
he doesn't want. Like dogs.
Fun dogs.
Or vampires.
Or the Real Housewives of Pawtucket Valley.
Yes.
Or whatever you're watching these days.
The Real Housewives of Transylvania. Now that might be a fun one, huh?
They're all very pale.
Yes, they don't get a lot of sun and they drink blood. My PS4 makes a weird noise every time I turn it on. Sounds like my wife. Is that weird?
Well, what sounds do your wife make when she is turned on? If
Maybe
it's a low hum or some sort of squeak, you're doing it wrong.
Yes, and that was from Namuni12. Namuni, I would say maybe your wife is a PS4.
Did you ever think of that?
Huh?
Are you dating a PS4? In which case, are they future-proofed?
Are you dating a machine?
Kathleen Loves Color recommended for the Dune question. Send A Star Is Born memes. Very good idea.
Very good. I love that. Okay. Do we have any more? Let me look up here and see what we have. Will I ever find happiness? I think my cat is the true love of my life. Should I leave my life partner? Says Kathleen Loves Color. Well, Kathleen, I would say no. I've actually been with a cat. Tilda, we know about this. We didn't know that I didn't know she was a cat. She was a cat person, so she turned into a cat at night.
It wasn't your fault.
No, it wasn't my fault. However, it didn't work out. I had to clean her litter.
Nothing takes the romance out of a relationship faster than having to clean up someone's litter, or scooper their pooper, or handle whatever waste they leave behind. It's difficult to then want to have a romantic relationship with that person when few hours earlier you lifted up their steaming pile in a plastic baggie and tossed it in a garbage can.
Ah, the lovely Austin Arnold, a very good gentleman who I've met a few times. He said, trying to go goblin mode tonight. Any advice? Well, I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming that it has something to do with a costume.
I would anticipate the use of some fake boils, some fake hairs upon your face, perhaps some green makeup, perhaps a lower voice, a register you're not used to using.
Yes.
And then goblin mode activated.
Yes. Goblin mode activate. Okay, let's see who else has something. La-di-da, going through the chat, just seeing what's up. Okay, let's see.
How do I make Big Daddy Data Dash nicer to the pets, asks Nika. Cover them with peanut butter if he likes peanut butter. Then he'll find them pleasurable, not pleasurable necessarily, but just fun to be around. You just can wipe your bread on them.
Yes. And now we have another one from Nika as well. How does one deal with a cheating
Okay. Poxy has a question.
Poxy, yes.
Will we ever get to play the wonderful game of Mario Kart with Tilda and Van?
What is this Mario Kart? What is this?
I believe it is a game the youths play where they take a small Italian, they place him upon a cart, and they push him down hills.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Feels irksome and dangerous.
Yes.
Is nothing we would ever anticipate or take part in. We know many Italians, small and large, and of medium stature.
Yes.
You yourself have some Italians in you.
I do.
Not currently.
No, and not ones that I've eaten.
No. So no Mario Kart.
I mean, I am kind of interested in pushing an Italian down a hill.
We shall do it later then, not when we're live on a stream.
Christy Lake says, is it necessary to tell my husband about the stray cats I keep in the basement? Secrets
are no fun. Secrets hurt someone. Unless the secret's about a cat, and then the secret is where it's at. For if you have a cat below, you have rights to tell and throw. Don't tell truths, just tell halves. Then you'll have a life of Faz.
You know, someone should remix that. That was pretty good, Tilda.
Thank you. It is an old saying that my grandmutter used to tell me every time I brought home a stray cat.
Yes. Okay.
I never understood what it means.
Who is this Minerva they're talking about? I don't know who Minerva is. I will now refer to Mario and Luigi as small Italians, says Namuni12. I think you should. Okay. Catriona Hahn says, how do I get my husband to do chores around the house? Well, Tilda, how do we split it up? You know, sometimes I gotta clean up the blood, sometimes you gotta clean up the blood. How does that usually work?
It depends on who's the dirtiest. If you're covered in blood, is simply kind.
Or food.
Some
people don't live like us, Tilda.
Or food. Or the aforementioned dirt along your floors. Whoever is the cleaner one, it's simply good manners to be the one to clean. Because the other one is covered in dirt. Or blood. Or, soot. newspaper.
Anyway, Sarah Cox asks, what are your thoughts on Barbarian, Aunt Tilda? Personally, I thought it was a very good documentary film.
This is why Van and I never go to Airbnbs. Because if you remember the one time we went to an
Spoiler
Airbnb... Oh, yes, sorry. Oops.
No, I think people know that you went to an Airbnb. I was just saying spoiler alert in case we have to spoil the film.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes. We once went to an Airbnb in San Francisco, and we were surrounded by nude photographs of the woman who owned the home. Those nude photographs turned out to have eye holes behind all of the nipples. So when anytime we were asleep, we would hear psst, psst, and that was the sound of the nipple pasties sliding across the photos so that the woman could be standing behind with her eyes coming through the nipples. I'll never stay in one again. No privacy.
And now, it is 8 p.m. We do have to bid everyone good evening. However, we will answer this one last question. Poxy Plays asks, how did we meet?
We met behind a comedy club.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for joining us. Happy Halloween.
I don't have an outro screen.
Just hit the smoke machine again.
And a song?
Just anything.
Should I hit a song?
Just do anything.
I forgot about the outro
Literally,
screen,
just
Tilda.
do anything.
Tilda, what am I going to do?
Darling,
we're just
don't
sitting
panic.
here. I
Just
think
do
are we
anything.
dying
just
here?
literally do anything. Just
Okay,
press any
I'm just
button.
I'm gonna go like this. Good night, all. We love each and every one of you.
Literally press any button. Thank you all.
Good night.
We love you for joining us.
I
Press
don't know
any.
what to- Should I?
Darling,
should we
just
keep-
press literally any button.
I think this is too much smoke.
Darling, stop the smoke and press
Good
a button.
night, everyone.
Good night. We are so
Happy
grateful
All
for
Hallows
all
Eve.
of you.
Don't eat too much candy.
And a blessed Samhain.
Yes.